Hello. Why don't you have a seat? If you've come all the way out here, then you must have questions about the Scouts Guild. You seem to have a knack for this, following me into the wilderness, just to exchange words. Alright then, go ahead and get comfortable by the fire, and I'll teach you what it means to be a scout. Scouts are a medium armored class with 3 points of worn armor as our maximum. Their value affords each individual scout a lot of personal freedom on the weight and material of their gear. This provides the greatest flexibility in speed and protection that scouts need in battle. A scout's arsenal is among the most diverse of any guild, offering the use of daggers, short swords, long swords, and a small shield in melee, while also giving scouts the use of bows and heavy thrown. Due to regulations, you cannot wield a bow and carry a shield at the same time. That said, be sure to personalize your kit. No two scouts are alike, and that sense of individuality gives this guild a lot of strength. The scout sash is green, and though it works well for hiding in dense vegetation, it can stick out like a sore thumb in deserts or rocky slopes. At level 1, a scout can use their honed senses to pierce the veil of the insubstantial, with the tracking ability twice per life charge times 3. This extraordinary verbal can target an insubstantial player within 20 feet. By chanting tracking times 3, the target player is forced out of the insubstantial and becomes targetable by you and your allies. This ability is ambient, so you can cast it while running, and because it is extraordinary, it doesn't take a free hand to cast. Just remember that after they are out of insubstantial, they can fight back. A cornered rat is a dangerous rat. When you pass the level test and reach level 2, you are able to learn the medicinal arts of the guild. This manifests in 2 abilities. The first is Heal once per life. Heal is an extraordinary verbal that restores 1 wounded limb on a player or 1 point natural armor on a monster. To use Heal, use this incantation. Sword cut, spear stab, mace smash, arrow jab, let the white light of healing descend on thee. Let the white light of healing stop thy spilling blood. Let the white light of healing mend thy bones. Let the white light of healing close thy wounds. Let the white light of healing restore thy vigor. The white light of healing hath healed thee. This incantation can be difficult to say in battle, so be sure to practice it when you can to try and speed up its use. You can cast this ability on yourself or an ally that is within touching range. However, since it's extraordinary, you don't need a free hand, which gives you far more of a chance to defend yourself and your allies. The second ability you learn is called Release. It is a once per life charge times 5. This verbal is also extraordinary and removes 1 status effect from you or an ally. Just remember that if you are frozen, suppressed, or insulted, you cannot release yourself from that state. To activate Release, say, "From all thy bindings thou art released," 5 times. Having your team able-bodied and unimpaired is important for any combat-based objective. Be sure to work with them. We all need help from time to time. If you survive to level 3, you are gifted 2 more abilities. The first is Dispel, a power used once per refresh as an extraordinary ability. By saying, "By my power I dispel thy magic" 3 times, you can call upon the cleansing power of nature to strip away any enchantment on a target player within 20 feet. Dispel can target a player through any state. The only way an adversary can avoid it is to distance themselves from you. This ability should not be used lightly considering its extremely low frequency. That said, this power can force any caster's champion down to your level, making it an incredible tool. The secondary ability in level 3 lets you blend into your environment with the Shadow Step ability once per life. This extraordinary ability can help you survive against foes you're not equipped for or ready to handle. To activate this ability, say, "I step into shadow" once. This will put you in the insubstantial state, and therefore makes you untargetable by most forms of attack. While hiding, you cannot move your feet. Be careful not to use Shadow Step where you can be surrounded by the enemy. To exit this ability, use the exit incantation, "I return to the physical world" 2 times. Using this ability as a lifeline is very helpful when you need to survive a powerful melee combatant, but all casters have options that can force you out of insubstantial. Just be sure to watch your step with this one, Initiate. At level 4, a scout becomes a conduit for change with the evolution trait. With this power, a scout can now have 2 enchantments at a time. This trait even stacks with powers that raise a scout's enchantment limit, though it's only really relevant if you have casters to support you. Be sure to make friends on the battlefield so that you can make the most of this. It's not the strongest species that survives, nor the most intelligent. It's the one most adaptable to change. Trapping is the essence of any hunter. Catching your foes in an unbalanced position is the most surefire way to gain a swift victory. At level 5, a scout gets the Hold Person spell once per life. This magical verbal places the stop status on a foe for 30 seconds. The incantation to use this power is, I command thee to stop, times 3. This spell can be used offensively or defensively. There's hardly ever a time when having an enemy stopped would not be beneficial to the scout. At level 6, a scout can prepare for any situation with the Adaptive Blessing enchantment once per life. This enchantment requires a white strip and is placed on the scout by saying, I enchant thee with this blessing, times 3. This ability grants the scout resistance to an effect from one school of effects: Command, Death, Flame, Sorcery, or Subdual. Being resistant makes the scout stop the first ability that would affect them. On top of this, the enchantment doesn't take an enchantment slot. However, it has a cost. A scout cannot have this enchantment active with other Protection School enchantments. You will have to coordinate with any enchanters you meet to make the most out of Adaptive Blessing and Evolution, while also working with your arms and armor. So before you pack up with that green sash, here are a few tricks to help in your future scouting missions. Make sure you make use of your time in its substantial to recharge your rechargeable abilities. If you need to leave Shadow Step quickly, you can track yourself out of Shadow Step. Although this lets you leave much sooner, it uses your tracking, which can be taxing. You might also want to bring extra enchantment strips for your potential enchanter friends. Now, using all the knowledge you've gained here, perhaps next time you won't be as easy to track yourself.